Hello, everyone, and as always, welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. And today it's back into Decisive Campaigns Ardennes Offensive. We are currently, I think, on turn two. So we're in the daytime. There's the morning, day, afternoon, and night each day, so 4 turns per day, and we've moved most of our forces. Now we're going to move around and check out some other things, and I also want to talk about a few things that came up last time that I've gone back and kind of checked out and looked at and tried to determine why they were the way they were. One was this unit. We did not know this unit was here, but if I would have looked at it, and as somebody brought up in the comments, I think Wolfnor, we didn't have line of sight on this hex. So no matter what the recon is and the hide is, if you're on a unit, you can't see that hex, you're not going to see what's in it, right? And so I was kind of surprised when this popped up. I believe it was this hex. I don't know. It's been a day or so. But I believe it was this hex. I was like, "Oh, wait a minute. We didn't know that was there." Well, even though we had recon that was higher than hide for this hex, we didn't have a direct line of sight on it from this unit. So when it moved from here to here, all of a sudden that popped up, and we said, "Oh, there is a unit there." Now, luckily, we didn't take any intercept fire, so no harm, no foul. But obviously you've got to have line of sight, and you can see the eyeballs where you've got line of sight, and it really, these elevations really come into play when that's the case. Now, the other thing is there is no undo button. I've looked, believe me, I've looked. But last time, this entire stack, I had wanted to move one of these units down here. Unfortunately, I ended up moving all of them out of coin court, and I moved them down here, and I said, "Oh, crud, I didn't want to do that." There's actually a good reason, and because of this intercept fire idea, you can't, it keeps people from spamming hexes to see if they will get intercept fire. So if you had the undo key, right, you could go, here, 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 and look and see, and you can get more recon that way. It would really kind of, I don't know, it would give people an opportunity to cheat in some way, in that they could get more recon. They could also determine if they're going to get any intercept fire. They could keep undoing moves, and so there is no undo. So be super careful with this. I would say, always have it on inspect until you're directly ready to move a unit. Now, I said this last time, and then I ended up doing it, right? Even somebody, I was hyper aware of it, but sometimes you get to staring at the board and you just kind of forget. And that's what happened to me last time. So we're going to have to go ahead and adjust from that. Hey, sometimes your subordinates aren't going to take your orders exactly. So we'll just say it's that. We'll say that's the problem. So let's look at our units here, and we'll look at the stack and mini and see everything that we have here. Now we're gonna when I say we are gonna have to adjust, we're gonna have to get back out here into Peroi and back up into Coin Court, I believe. We don't want to give up these urban areas, and so we're gonna have to move this unit that's still got three. Now, the motorized isn't going to be able to move anywhere. He's only got, what, 6 action points? That's not going to get him anywhere. But we've got 29 here, and we've got 67 here. And so I'm going to go ahead and go to move and see everywhere where we could move with this armored unit. Actually, let's go to this one first. And you can see he can't get all the way back up to Coin Court. So that's kind of a no-go right from the start. Instead, I'm going to move him into Paroi. Okay, so he's there, and then I'm going to take this other armored unit, even though his headquarters is a little further over here, and I'm going to move him up and into Coin Court. Now, that is going to cause us some heartburn when this turn goes, because he's got some strength here, and if he comes and hits these guys, I mean, that's 20 Panthers that are sitting here. Now, they should put up a pretty damn decent defense against whatever the Americans could bring. Same with this armor unit that has 18 more Panthers, but it's not ideal. It's not really the way I would like to set this up, but hey, that's what happened, and now we've got to adjust to it. Um, If we're looking at commands, I did want to move this guy down here potentially, but I'm not going to. I don't want to give this mech unit an out, right? And if we go to the hex here, this is Moncourt. He could come here, get in an urban area, and cut off one part of our, group here from another. And so I don't want to just give this hex up because certainly if I was the Allies, I would move in here if I was the Americans and try to cut a lot of this off and at least cause problems on the offensive. And so I'm going to leave this headquarters here, even though that puts these two only at 75% on the command. And if you look, his command, well, it's showing 95%. So headquarter power, 95%. So he's just one hex out of this. And it looks like this is almost a different color, kind of a gold color. It's not all the way the yellow. And so that's showing up as 95%. Huh, that's interesting. I'm going to have to look in the rule book exactly why that is. You can see it's a different color. This is actually gold. This is more yellowish. Is this guy 95? He's 95% as well. Interesting. Okay. I thought it went from 100 to 75 to 50, but we're seeing 95. Well, that definitely seals the deal. We're not going to move this guy. He's got this guy in command. Great. Okay. These units, do I want to move these? Not really. I'm going to keep the headquarters here. Let's get on the headquarters and you can see this unit does end up with 100% headquarter power, and we would know that because he's in the green. These guys are in the green. I've double stacked them, even though we pushed across the river here. I'm just trying to hem him in and hold him here. I just don't want him to get, down into here and start, coming this way, some kind of breakthrough. So I'm just trying to hold this from a defensive position while we move our other guys from the north down and start pressuring Aracourt, because I think what will happen is he's going to have to start dropping back. From what we can see right now, he doesn't have enough forces to defend against this. I think he's going to have to start taking some of this, and then we're going to come around, maybe loop around or maybe straight up this way, and then put pressure on him from the south and just kind of vice him here a little bit. You can see the Americans have a supply source here. It is a minor supply source. Does it show us this? We don't know enough about this. We've spotted it enough to know it's a minor supply source. If we could get here, I think we damn near cut off his supply. And so that's certainly something, because our major supply source is here. We have not built any minor supply sources, although we could, but I think they're well within range. I haven't seen any supply problems. This guy's got a little supply attack modifier. We'll have to look at it when we turn the turn this time. All right, is there anyone else we want to attack? Well, maybe. Um, we've got these two guys here that could certainly, or well, it's only the one guy, but it's 1 to 4. We don't want to do that. If we click on the hex itself and we go to hex details, we could see, look at all these units that could, do a ranged attack against these guys. Is that something we want to do? Maybe we get the big 47th headquarters here that's got some ranged weapons. We get the other headquarters here that's got some ranged weapons. But maybe there's a better place to deploy those. We could try to hit, this from a range perspective. We don't have any attacking forces down here that we're showing. Um, would we get return fire from there? No. Return fire from there, we're not expecting it anyway, and we could potentially hit an armor group here. There's no reason, I don't think, really to leave any artillery sitting on the table. I mean, you can let them rest, but what kind of readiness are we? I mean, the headquarters is at 97%. You can't do much better than that. 97%. These guys haven't moved a whole lot. This headquarters is at 85%. It's not great. Let's go back to inspect so I don't move anything I don't want to move. We could try to hit this unit potentially, maybe these guys up here. Could we hit this? Now we already hit this once. Could we do it again? Well, we could also attack with the motorized. We've got some armor here, but I think I want to kind of let these guys drop back if they want to and get out of here. This is worth 10 points. Lezy is. Once we move into there, I mean, we're pretty much all the way to a victory if we could just hold on at that point. What if I wanted to hit this guy? You see the 11th Panzer groups that could hit him. We could also hit him with these two infantry groups. Okay. Well, let's do this in a little more organized way. What do I really want to hit? Where am I really trying to get to? Well, we would certainly like to get down into this town. I think he's going to be, we could almost hem him in here if we push hard enough. This mech unit worries me. This guy is probably going to fall back. We have artillery here. We could go artillery on it. No, we don't have anything close enough there. Speaking of which, let's look at our artilleries. Just make sure we move them as much as we can. Looks like we have the major artilleries anyway. This guy, he's kind of the guy I really want to hit, I think. We also have a potential attack there. This is anti-aircraft. I'm still on inspect mode here. Why don't we try to hit this? Let's try to hit here with just the 559th. Whatever is here in Javecourt. Now, these are my most worn out guys, though. Before I do that, let's just see what the readiness is. 69, 74. Now, I plan on resting during the night turn. I could also hit this with this group. That's kind of a lower amount. These guys, this guy. I'm gonna lob some stuff in here. Um, let's do a ranged attack with just the 559th, and then these guys might do something different. All right, we fire off here a 75 millimeter pack, the 81 millimeter mortar. We don't know what that did. Okay, we don't have enough visibility to know what kind of damage we did there. Okay, and I'm also going to potentially fire here from a range perspective. Well, I could only do it with that unit. Let's cancel that. Let's hit this guy with as much ranged as we can. Let's do it with the two headquarters. Now it's showing us he's got enough range to fire back. Well, I don't want that. Let's do it from here then. Let's just do it with the two headquarters potentially. No return fire expected. I don't really want it to. Okay, let's do that. I don't want to bring the tanks into it. Let's fire on that. Let's see what we get. Well, we fired 120 millimeter mortar, the 88 millimeter flak. We don't seem to do any damage or even disrupt him at all. I mean, we knocked his entrenchment down 1 point. Well, that's not great. I think that's it, though. I think that's the last thing I want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the turn here, and let's see what happens. All right. Done. And then we're going to pause this and we're going to go through step by step and see what happens. All right. So I hit pause and now we're just going to go step by step. Step by step. What is it? New Kids on the Block? This combat command moves. Okay. And moves again. This is 4 CCA combat command. He's moving back on this road. And again. 35th Infantry Division is coming, what, south? Yep, it's coming down this road, the 35th is. Now then, we get an airstrike. All right, now this is something we haven't talked a whole lot about because we don't have any airstrike cards. The Allies are, of course, ascendant in the air, and so they can come in and airstrike us. The Luftwaffe can't do a whole lot about it. Our flak repelled 3 of the 16 aircraft. Okay, excellent. We lose 10 infantry, 2 Maltiers. I've been told these are these horses? Did somebody tell me that? Or mules? I think they're mules. Maltiers. The Opal Blitz, we lose 2 of those, and we lost 2 Panzer IVs. So that was a deadly airstrike, taking out 2 of our tanks. Okay, well, that's why maybe you want the AA up by your tanks. All right. 67 tank destroyer unit moves. Where is this? Well, maybe it'll move. There it is. Okay, so this unit that was down here is moving over into town, and we know it's a tank destroyer battalion. Oh, he's going to continue moving and continue moving. All right. The 320th Infantry Regiment right here. Oh, this is part of it. Okay, he's moved across the bridge. Got it. All right. Now he's moving back across the bridge, and he's decided to retreat. This is what I was hoping would happen. Is even though he's probably got us in a situation where he could push us back to maybe Machcourt. I mean, we do have a lot of firepower here, but this has got to look, to the AI like, man, I've got to reverse course and get north here up by Aracourt. 320th Infantry, we lose sight of him as he obviously moves into this hex. He was here, he moved there, and we lose sight of him. Now then, he's pulling out of Henemanil, and he's pulled back across the bridge. This part of the 320th, he moves into Burris and then continues moving north. This part of the 320th is also taking off as this is happening just as I had hoped. They're balling up here, and I'm hoping I can get out and around him and completely envelop him. 35th on the move. 320th Infantry Regiment continues to move north, and now it moves a little west. Okay, it moves again. Now you've got the 53rd Armor that is moving back into the west. Or is he? Looks like he may be coming down here to take that unit's place on the line. Team Morris moves. Okay. You can see he's pulling back. So this worked. This little gambit of coming out here and holding these towns worked because we're putting him under enough pressure. He's having to fall back, and now he starts to fall back from Lezy here. Young is moving back. Intercept fire. That's us firing intercept fire. Excellent. So it was right here. So when he moved, we saw Young moving. We fired here our 120 millimeter mortar. We don't know what damage we do. Now he's moving back from up over here where we were starting to get around him a little bit. 489th AA comes and sets up right down here on the road in front of Aracourt. Looks like they're going to put the AA in Aracourt. Probably a good idea. Wilson has moved off of the hill here, and he's now dropping back. And now they're pulling out of Javrecourt or Javrecourt. Sure. Uh, Pulling back here with the 704th Tank Destroyer. And that's coming back by, well, he's actually looping around here. He sees the danger of a possible envelopment here, I think. Mitch is pulling back. Yeah, we're getting them all here in a very confined space. And what I hope to do is bring the artillery up, in some of these places, maybe here, level 2 here, and just bombard the hell out of him. 37th Tank Battalion is coming back. Okay. Now this unit is moving out through Burris. Okay. This mech unit is all of its retreat. All of its retreat. You can see the pioneers coming out. So I think we did exert sufficient pressure on him there. I really like how that all played out as we're getting him back here in a very, condensed area where our artillery can come on and really do some damage, I hope. Okay, now we're going to watch it all play out again in real time because I had it on pause. The only problem we had there was the airstrike. Again, that kind of lets you know maybe your headquarters with the AA needs to be right around those armor units because that's the only protection you're going to have. The Luftwaffe is just not very active. We haven't seen really a Luftwaffe card. You can drop off supply by air, but that's about it. You don't see something like anti-air, air-to-air combat or something. We haven't seen a card like that. So it is now our turn. Excellent. Round three. So it's now the afternoon. It is overcast. It is above zero. Fantastic. At night, it'll be overcast for the next round. And then starting tomorrow, it will be misty. That's probably a good thing for us because it should cut down on Allied air power. All right. Axis has 88 victory points. We do have -1 victory point for casualties, so it's 87. We need 100, right? We need 100. You can see exactly what we've lost. We've lost 90 infantry, 70 pioneers, 60 Volksgrenadiers, 40 Volksgrenadiers of this type, and 20 Panzergrenadiers of that type. What else have we lost? Oh, gotta go way up here. We lost six 75 millimeter guns, five 37 millimeter guns. These were kind of my fault when I put that artillery in the front line. Four horse teams, two 81 millimeter mortars, two Panzerschrecks, two Opel Blitz, two times the BMW R75s, one mortar, a few half tracks and whatnot. Total 224. What have the Americans lost? 50 GI veterans, 10 green, 10 engineers, 7 bazookas, 7 of the M3s, 5 trucks, so on and so forth for 125. So he certainly, put a little hurting on us, but well, I say that very small. We're on the attack, right? So really, as long as we keep this kind of under 2 to 1, I feel like we're doing a pretty good job. We're moving forward. When we take Lezy this time, we'll be up to 97 points. We need 100 to win the scenario. We need to get our artillery moving up because now we've got him down in this valley. And as you can see, there are level twos around here where we can fire right down into the valley and really hopefully put a hurting on him with our artillery, whether it be the bigger divisional artillery or down at the regimental level, that artillery. As you can see here, if we move just artillery up onto this hilltop or over here, I mean, that's straight down into Aracourt. That's exactly what we want. We've also got this artillery over here we could put up on the level 2, probably in this hex, if we move this forward and scout around. Put that artillery up here, and now we're firing down into Aracourt from this way. I think we would have a line of sight from there, certainly. It says it's red from there. We don't have a unit here, so we don't know what it would be from there, but I would imagine the line of sight would be quite fine there. Let's put this on inspect so we don't make any mistakes. We've got 27 political points now. Let's look at our cards this time. What would we like potentially? Trucks column, we don't need that. Repair bridge, I don't think we need that, but we'll go look at Lezy. It's possible that he blew the bridge at Lezy. We'll go find out. Replacements from the rear. Let's see what this says. We'll send either replacement troops to the highest headquarters in your order of battle, or we'll full fuel and supply your supply sources. I think we're okay. Fuel, we don't really need another trucks column card, new bridge, and supply. I mean, at some point we're gonna, well, this one, at some point we're going to have enough political points that we'll probably just, you know, it's not going to hurt to play these, right? We have no combat cards. We do have air recon or supply drop. I don't think we need either one of those. We could place a minor supply base. Um, it needs to have a link to a supply source, needs to be played on a hex with a road. Supply fuel reserves filled up for 10%. Um, well, this may be something we do when we go out and look at our units. We may say, our supply situation's not great right now. Let's go look at our individual commanders and look at their cards, what do we have going on now? We now have 12 command points with Mulin attack, so we could play any of these. Attack, which is an offensive card, it has to do with audacity. We have the defensive cards hold and entrench. We have kind of the more administrative cards like care, and then we have a recon card. Well, I don't think we need any recon. And so I don't think we really have anything to play there. Let's just go straight to move mode. All right. And let's start playing the game. Now, usually I like to move artillery or shoot it first, but I think in this instance, the first thing I really want to do is move this unit, but let's look at him first. He's in combat move mode. I think that's a good thing. Now we saw this unit move, and we do have visibility down here. From here, you can see the green eye, and we have limited visibility, here. So we know he doesn't have a unit here for intercept fire. So let's get this guy moving down the road. He can go here, he can go there. Now we've got visibility on this. We have limited visibility here. Let's look at the hex. We've got recon of 50, hide of 4. Okay, again, he's still got 55 action points. Let's take this unit and move one here. We do take intercept fire there. So he fires an M7 at us. As you can see, we don't lose a thing. Um, our entrenchment is still 70, 50, 50, 26. We don't lose any men. We don't lose any Panzer Shreks or 81 millimeter motorized. Excellent. Well, that helps. So he fired his mortars out of from this unit. I think it had to be this unit. Well, I guess it's possible something back here had a greater range, but we got out here now at this level 2. Excellent, excellent. So this is part of the 1125th. Now we've got this artillery, and we can get this moving. But I think what I'm going to do is have the horses pull it, at least back here, because we're going to be out of his line of sight. And I really want to get into this hex eventually, or this one. Well, probably this one, so we can fire down into Aracourt. Also, what is their range? 4, 5. Okay, so 4 and 5. If he's in this hex, 1, 2, 3, 4, we don't quite get to Aracourt. We may have to bring him all the way over here, um, because 4 doesn't get us there. But I'm going to have the horse team, so we'll switch that over, and as you can see, that gives us one more hex of movement this time. Now, I could have moved him over here, but he doesn't really have good line of sight into anything. I'd rather put it up on the hilltop. So off he goes. We can keep well, yeah, we can keep this here. Now, it may get hit by an airstrike, but I doubt it. I doubt it. And so I'll probably leave him on movement mode. We'll kind of keep that open for this time. Maybe I'll come back and change that. Now let's move the headquarters up. There's no reason for the headquarters to be back here. We just don't need it. Oh, one thing I wanted to look at. So this unit now has more movement. I'd like to get to this road junction if we can. His readiness is 72. This unit's readiness is 78. He could move further, but I think this unit is the one I'm going to move. We may take some intercept fire, but we do not. Okay, I'm going to go one more. And we don't take anything there. Excellent. We could also move that artillery all the way down here, and then he's got a nice shot into there, and maybe that's what I end up doing. I had already taken him this way. Maybe I should have waited to move him. This unit can get all the way back around here and actually get the high ground. Is that something I want to do? Maybe, maybe. I'm going to leave those movement points. I'm going to leave those. They're both on combat mode. Fine. I've got the artillery back here that I've moved, and I think I'm going to take the engineers here, the pioneers, and move them up against their counterpart here. This also will get us visibility down into this valley. We've got to be careful here, though. We don't want, just looking over this situation very quickly. We don't want this to get overwhelmed. If he counterattacks against these engineers, eh, we could actually leave these guys here and instead move this unit out. But I was actually thinking of maybe double stacking here. He's not going to counterattack back up here to the artillery. Why don't we move our artillery first? Let's put this guy onto the horses, and we'll get him moving down the road as far as we can. We've now, these guys are in full flight, so I'm not really worried about a counter attack there. Let's go ahead and move them as far as we can. So we've moved. This is the bigger divisional artillery. No, that's not true. That's not true. He's directly hooked into the 559th. So this again is regimental artillery, as is this. And I'm going to have the horses pull these guys too. I could bombard these guys. Eh, let's see. We've got the 75 millimeters. They've got a range of four. One, two, three, four. See, they don't get those guys. Yeah, no, not worth it. Let's go ahead and move, and we're going to get moved up here as far as we can so that next turn we can move right onto, the elevation here that overlooks the valley. Um, Let's be a little careful though. They probably have a few ranged weapons. So here, here, and I'm actually going to take them off of movement mode and put them on combat mode because we've only got one hex to move next time. These guys I probably want to move further, although I still going back and forth on that one. Okay, the headquarters I'm going to put up here right on top of the artillery to protect it. I could put it on top of this artillery just on the off chance, but I want everybody to be in command range. So let's move him around there. Okay, so now the regimental headquarters is there. Okay, we've got infantry, we've got anti-tank. What's his readiness value? 88. That's pretty good. I'd like him to keep. Did he move out of this town? He did. We can go straight into this town and cut these guys off. Well, I think that's definitely what we want to do. Now, we're going to take some intercept fire here. I don't think that that's in doubt. We've also got these infantry units that can move up the road, but I'm no longer worried about protecting here. I probably. Hmm, I could bring 11th Panzer headquarters over this way. Well, we'll make that decision later. Uh, I've got the artillery here, but I have this infantry regiment that we could certainly use to move out this way as well, or to block here potentially. I could put them up here. We're going to leave not both of these artillery, but one of these artillery back. Make sure we're on move mode. It's not group mode. I'm going to stop using group mode, I think, in some respects. This guy, I think we move first. All right. We still got stuff to move back here, but I want to get into Juvrecourt. We're probably going to take some intercept fire here moving into town. No, we don't. And now we've cut these guys off trying to retreat back into this pass, and we're in an urban environment, so much more defensible there. That's awesome. That kind of means I'm not going to be nearly as aggressive over here. I'm going to kind of just stay on top of the elevations here, I think. I could start to threaten to get around him, or I could start threatening a full envelopment of all of these forces. I do think I'm going to move. Let's move this. I know I'm going to move this infantry forward, so let's do that. This is part of the 1127th Regiment. Oh, he takes no intercept fire. That's awesome. And we can start firing mortars down here, or we can push right on Aracourt. We've kind of got him off balance here, I think. We got a little bit behind him, and I think it's going to have a really hard time recovering. All right, engineers, they do take intercept fire, but we take no damages here. You can see, and we really don't take, I mean, we don't take any hits, really. He fired off 105 millimeter, 155 millimeter, 13 total guns, but we take no damages. Whoops, back. Um, and I think a big part of that is the elevation, right? He's shooting uphill there and he just misses essentially. So we've still got the artillery here. We now have zone of control on both parts of this. He would have to move through heavy forest here. So this is great. And I think we'll put this artillery right here looking down into the valley. These guys, in a different circumstance, I might be more aggressive with them, but I think I'm going to leave them right here. They're up on the elevation. They have an elevation advantage against all of this. Now, the only problem is he's got an artillery over here. I don't like that. Um, but we're into town here. No reason to move these guys. They're up on the elevation. We do have anti-tank here, though. And I think I'll move the anti-tank into town to block some of this if we can. So we didn't get any intercept fire from this when we moved in the first time. I'm on move mode, just the anti-tank, but it makes more sense to have this down in town, I think. So we're going to move the anti-tank. Oh, we did take fire there. Okay, so that goes to show you. I mean, the game just calculates where it should do intercept fire, and we did lose an RSO. Okay, well, let's go look at this. The RSO, so we just lost the truck. Um, it's a fully tracked light tractor. Okay, so we lost one of those, but we didn't lose any of the guns, which is most important. And now we've got them stacked with this infantry, and we've also got this infantry now that can move around and into town. And we can really get this guy cut off. Now, you may say, should we leave this artillery all by itself? But I think I'm going to do something a little bit different. Can I get the headquarters over here? I can. And I may bring this headquarters around over here to protect and then put the AA in with these guys potentially and bring the main headquarters to Lezy. I think that's what I'll do because I want this infantry to get moving up here and can help us secure the town. All right, so up he goes. Ooh, he took intercept fire from there. Interesting. Okay, we lost two Volks Grenadiers there from 405 millimeter howitzers. All right, well, this hex has now been hit. So is this one. He also, when they take intercept fire, they lose action points. And as you can see, this unit did lose action points because it was showing we could get in here. Now it's showing we can't. And so we're down to 26 action points. Probably takes 30 to get in there. You can see here down in that black ribbon, it says impossible to move here. Move cost 32. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Now then, what are we up to? We've got this guy in the squeeze. Do we start attacking here? Do we just let him kind of marinate here? Now, he could jump over here and come down this road. So it's not like we've got him fully enveloped. We've just got him blocked off here into town, right? Oh, by the way, one thing I've never mentioned is the victory points right up here. It'll show you exactly how many victory points you have. 87. All right. Um, we have got a motorized unit there. We've got a motorized and a tank battalion here. Is that a battalion or a regiment? Regiment. Panzer regiment with 22 Panzer IVs. We've got another motorized here. 111th, 111th. This is 110th, 15th, 11th. Interesting. Did he blow the bridge here? It does not. No, he did not. I think if I was the Americans, I would have blown the bridge there. Well, let's move this 111th. So we're, on likes there. Let's move him forward. Now, we may get some intercept fire. We'll see. No, we don't. The 110th, I'm going to put both of these guys together going instead down this road. All right, so it's just on move mode. All right. Let's just do one at a time. No reason to get too fired up here. And we'll move him right down this road, the 110th. And now we'll take this 110th unit, but I want the anti-tank to come with. We've got mechs here, so let's move these as a group. We'll first of all move into Lezy down the road. Let's see if we take any fire. Now, last time, remember when we moved the motorized in here, we did not take intercept fire, but when we moved the anti-tank in, we did. This time, I'm going to move them together. Hopefully, that will deter him from any intercept fire. We'll see. So we're on group move down the road. We don't take any intercept fire. Excellent. Okay, so now we've got the part of the 15th Panzer Regiment. Here's the other part of 15th Panzer Regiment. We also have the artillery back here. We have this artillery back here. Now, where do we eventually want this artillery to end up? Well, I think we probably want it to end up, let's say here. I mean, if we're trying to take Aracourt, right? I mean, that's kind of the big prize. From here, it could fire this way onto these roadways and this way, right? So I think this is the ultimate goal. Let's put him. We're going to move him a long ways, so we're going to put him that he's, on the horse team, and we can bring him around this way. Looks like that's going to be the fastest way to go. So let's bring him all the way down here. Of course, no intercept fire. He's still in command range there. That's not a problem. But I think what I'll do, mm, these guys are so far over here. I may take the main command and put it over here instead. Yeah, we're on group move. Always like that guy to be on top. The headquarters on top. How far can we get him? What if we put him in the car? Well, let's put him in the car. Well, first of all, before I forget, do we want to keep him on move mode? No, I don't want to take that risk. I think we're in pretty good shape here, and I don't want an airstrike. I'm going to do the same with this. I'm going to take it off. Um, I don't want an airstrike. I'd rather move a little bit more, more slowly then take a risk of having some of this just get blown sky high. All right, so we're on group mode here. Let's put them on the car in the cars. It didn't help that much. I very much doubt they're going to come this way, but I may want to move. Wow, it's showing me. That's weird. It is. Well, it's not so weird, but it's showing me how this thing could move either way. I guess that would come into play for intercept fire. I would rather he go this way anyway. So let's come stack with that. But do I want the AA to move? I'm not sure that I do. Oh, interesting. Maybe I actually do go here. I'm not that worried about that. Well, I think I wasted some movement points then, but that's okay. Um, I'm gonna move this guy here to start with, and then here. Okay, and I will take him out of move mode. There. So that's the big overall command. And I'm going to put the AA with him. All right. He goes up there. And then I guess these guys, man, how much defense do I want them to be playing? I may put him here for AA purposes. Um, let's put him there first. And then there, he takes no defensive fire. I'm tempted to actually put the AA over here. I don't want the artillery to get hit by aircraft. But I don't want the tanks to get hit by aircraft, but I've got them a little more protected now anyway. Um, I've got so much artillery here. Let's go protect it. What else is here? Okay. I'm gonna go stack right there. and that should protect this artillery. It's only got a range of 1, and then I've got this AA here. He can still go further, and maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll actually stack him with 11th Panzer right now. That keeps this headquarters in range as well. I'm starting to kind of figure out this AA situation. Okay, these guys are down the road. What's the stack in the hex? 118. We can put more in here. We could also put more in here, although this guy can really get moving out here and up and around and start threatening an envelopment this way. He's part of 15th Regiment. We've got 11th Regiment here. Oh, we've also got some engineers. I was planning on. Hmm. So that's 11th. Do we have another 11th Armored Group? He goes straight to 11th Panzer. So does he, but he's part of 15th as well. 110th is all together there. 111th together there. 11th. Okay. Hmm. Well, I have a decision to make. How much do I want to stack into here? How much is into this hex? 118. Here it's 112. What's his stack? 48. So he could certainly go right in here. But I really want to get him matched back up with his guy here in 15th. The 11th, he can come up here. He could come right over there. But I think this is where we would need the most help from a potential attack. So I'm going to put him there, and I'm going to take the engineers. I think I'm going to put them right over here. What's their stack? 35. Okay, that's fine. Oh, we took some fire. Now, we didn't lose anything. 93, 21, 50. We lost no men in there. But that's interesting that they hit the town here. They haven't hit it otherwise. And then we move the engineers in here. So we're triple stacked here. The total stack's 147. You don't want to go over 200 and 160. I think that's pretty good. And then this guy I'm going to get moving out and around this way. And these two are going to come around here. Now let's look at the command situation. As you can see, they can get a lot into command, but I think I want to take the 113th and move them here, right? Get around behind. So I'm going to take the 15th and I'm going to start moving him this way. They're still in command, and I'm going to move that. Now he's going to use a lot of fuel coming around here, and I get that, but I'm going to move him all the way here. But they should still be in command. They are. And I'm going to move them probably on the roadway here. Now, you may say they could break out this way. Well, that is true. But we can always get this headquarters over here, or we can bring something else around, or we can just back up the damn armor. All right, we've got this artillery that I want to get out here as far as possible. Let's put him on the tracked for the moves. And as you can see, he can go a long ways. He can get up here on this level 2. I think we'll eventually do that. Let's put him in lay for now. But if I can get him right here and stacked with something, I think that's what we want to do. So we're going to have movement points that we still have to go. For now, though, I'm going to take this guy. I want him to go right here, but I want him to take as little fire as possible. Um, let's move him back and then around this way. Yeah, he got up there. That's awesome. We could put this artillery right up there with him, and then we're looking down into this valley as they try to scramble back. I think that's what I want to do. Now they're mismatched as far as their regiments go, but that's okay. And now we'll take the headquarters here and start moving him around. And I think I'll put him in this town because now we've got motorized that can move out this way. We could actually even get into Beret. And then these guys, we can loop around this way and really threaten envelopment. I mean, we're here. If we can start getting up into this area, I think we can really start threatening. Um, Up into here. How far are we into this episode? About 50 minutes. I think I'm going to call it here because I want to look over this map a little more and I don't want to bore you with that. Now, don't forget, we've got part of this 211th right up here, or 2111th, but it's part of the 111th Panzer Brigade. We've got that up here. We've got two motorized. Is this thing in better shape now after getting attacked? Well, he's only got a 31. His readiness 77. Okay, well, little work to be done there, but they can go cross over the bridges here down here and start really threatening. Maybe with this 43, he's stronger. He can go here. The 31 can kind of be a little more gingerly to here. We can get the headquarters into town there. All right, I think this is shaping up pretty well. If we back up, you see the situation. We've got the Americans in here. We've herded them into the pen. And if we can start getting up and around these ways, we can stretch him. And then we can bring the artillery in, fire down into these valleys, and really wreak some damage. So overall, I'm very happy with how we sit right now. But we'll see. You know, we'll probably do some attacking maybe into here. You know, we don't want to just wait until he's triple, quadruple stacked all here and then what, try to run him over. Now, technically, you know, we get it. We've through Jubilees, we've gotten Lezy. You know, we really don't have to get our court, but I'd like to. I'd like to win overwhelmingly. So we're going to try to do that. You know, the ultimate would be a complete encirclement here, cutting off, kind of meeting here, right? Cutting off all supply into this area with a complete encirclement. We'll see if we can get there. Anyway, this has been Strategy Gaming Dojo. I'll talk to you next time. Have a great one.